Uvayom Shmini Yimol Besar Arloso. In this week's Parsha, we're given the mitzvah of Milah. The Sefer Chinuch explains to us that the mitzvah of Milah has a very particular connotation. Hashem wants us to understand that the Jewish baby is different than any other occupant of the planet. Hashem wants us to let us know that the Jewish nation is different, just as their soul, just as their neshama is different, so too is their body. The reason Hashem gave us the mitzvah of circumcision is to let us know that we're distinct, we're different, just as our physical entity is now different with the action of Milah, so too our neshama, the essence of the Jew, is different. And by all rights, the Sefer Chinuch explains, the Jewish baby should have been born with a bris milah. He should have been born circumcised. Why is it that Hashem gave us the mitzvah? To teach us an additional lesson, and that lesson is just like you could take a human form and change it, you can circumcise it and it will look different, so too you can take your neshama, you can take the essence of you and change it. Therefore Hashem gave the mitzvah to man to do, rather than having the baby being born circumcised, Hashem gave us the mitzvah to do the mitzvah milah. This Sefer Chinuch is actually quite difficult to understand, because there is a tremendous lesson that the Jewish people would have known and understood much more graphically had it been done differently. Imagine for a minute the following. Imagine that every Jewish baby born was born circumcised. Imagine if every Jewish baby was distinct from its mother's womb. Wouldn't that be a tremendous lesson for all to see? The Jew is different. An Oriental has a different facial appearance. People from different tribes, different nations look differently. The Jew is distinct and different. From birth he's circumcised. Nowadays, anyone can circumcise themselves. It's no longer as distinct, it's no longer as different. If it would have been that the Jewish baby was born with the bris milah, it would have been a very powerful sign for all to know that the Jew is distinct, is different, and yet that lesson is lost. Why did Hashem allow the Jewish man to do the bris milah? It would have been a much more powerful, much more impactful lesson had in fact every Jewish baby been born. And I believe the answer to this is something that the Sefer Chinuch is teaching us. It is true. We would have known that we're distinct, we would have known that we're different, and that lesson would have been much more powerful. But there's a second lesson that's even more powerful to know, and that is that I can change me. The second lesson of bris milah is you can take an imperfect form and make it perfect. Just like you can change the human body, so too you can change the essence of you. As great a lesson as it would have been to know that we're distinct, that we're different, as important as it would have been to know that the Jewish body is different, the Jewish soul is different, there's a lesson that's even more significant to understand, and that is that you can change. You can take an imperfect soul and make it perfect. And that arguably is one of the most significant lessons that a person can know in this life. Typically, the greatest obstacle of growth is the fact that I am who I am. I would love not to have a fierce temper. I would love to be humble. I would love to be a kindly giving person, but this is my nature. A leopard can't change its spots. What this mitzvah is teaching us is quite the opposite. Just like you can take an imperfect physical form and change it, you can take the essence of you and change it. And that was so significant, so important, that even though it meant diminishing somewhat the lesson that the Jewish nation is different, even though it meant that it's not going to be as clear, it was worth it to teach us a second lesson, because the understanding that I can change is so dramatically significant that Hashem felt it should be given to man to allow him to know that number one, the Jew is different, but number two, as important, he can change the essence of him.